Stage 2 locks closed out. Falcon 9's on internal power. Vehicles in self-align. Stage 1, Stage 2 cryogenium secured.
FTS on countdown 1, announce AFTS is ready for launch.
AFTS is ready for launch.
BC verify Falcon 9 is in startup.
Falcon 9's in startup. Stage 1, Stage 2, pressing for flight.
LD verify go for launch.
LD go for launch.
.30 seconds and counting.
Falcon 9's configured for flight.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
RC copies.
GC, move to post-launch pad operations.
GC copies.
Secure the pad.
Falcon 9 is on its way to delivering Bulgariasat-1 to a geostationary transfer orbit. All 9 Merlin engines capable of putting out over 1.7 million pounds of thrust. We are coming up on max Q at 1 minute and 18 seconds roughly. We'll be passing through max Q, that is maximum aerodynamic pressure. We just crossed through it. That is one of the highest stressed states on the rocket. So we're over 20 kilometers above the surface of Earth. You can see the engine plume expand at the base of the rocket. That is indicative that we are leaving Earth's atmosphere.
Actual has begun.
You just heard the call out that the Merlin vacuum engine on second stage has begun chilling in. This means that we are getting ready for 3 major events. Main engine cutoff, MECO 1, stage separation, and second engine start. We'll talk about all 3 of them after they occur. What you just saw there in quick succession was MECO, main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, which was done by 4 pneumatic actuators on the forward end of our first stage. And then on the right side of your screen, you are seeing the glowing red nozzle of our second stage engine. That glowing red nozzle on the second stage is how you can see that we have a good ignition in space. We will have fairing separation in about 15 seconds. Just happened right now. It's like a good separation of the fairing. That was a brief glimpse of Bulgariasat within the fairing of our second stage. This means we have left Earth's atmosphere, majority of Earth's atmosphere. On the left side of your screen, you are seeing an image from the top of our first stage. You see 2 grid fins in the sides of that image. We use those grid fins to guide the stage through the atmosphere to the drone ship. Now those grid fins do look small, but they are about 5 feet long, about 4 feet wide. So they're rather large as we use them to guide ourselves back. You are also seeing occasional puffs come out from the side of the stage. Those are cold nitrogen thrusters that we use to help orient the stage. Now coming up in about a minute, we have our entry burn of the first stage. This is a 3-engine entry burn. For today's mission, since we are landing on the drone ship, we do not have a boost back burn. We only have an entry burn and a landing burn. 2 burns total for today's mission for the first stage. As I mentioned previously, our entry coming in for first stage is one of the highest heating and structural loads. So this is a very challenging first stage maneuver to land on our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Of course, I still love you has AOS.
You just heard confirmation that our drone ship has acquisition of signal, AOS, of the first stage as it's coming back.
First stage,
Stage 1 entry burn is starting.
This is ignition of the entry burn. This burn will last for about 20 seconds. 3-engine entry burn on the first stage on the left.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
We have a good shutdown, confirmation of a good shutdown of the first stage entry burn. Now, it is normal for us to see some of the soot appear on the camera screen. We may also occasionally lose coverage of the first stage entry as we come in through the horizon. That is all perfectly normal. This is expected to lose the signal from stage 1. We will have signal acquisition as we come closer to the drone ship. Meanwhile, you're seeing on our second stage the engine burning. This burn will last about 8 minutes, 30 seconds. And then we will have a coast phase for the second stage before we do our final burn to put Bulgariasat into a geostationary transfer orbit.
Second stage, AFTS saved.
We're coming up in about 30 seconds on our landing burn from the first stage. About 45 more seconds for this stage 2 burn.
Landing burn has started.
The confirmation of the landing burn has started.
Landing legs have deployed.
And it looks like we may have lost some of the footage coming in for the landing ship, coming in for the drone ship. We do expect to lose signal from the drone ship as we come in. If you've watched previous missions, that is not uncommon for us to lose coverage of the first stage coming back to the drone ships. The rocket vibrations coming into something like that can cause some issues. And it looks like we did have a good recovery of the first stage. Video feed did come back. That is touchdown for first stage on the drone ship. This was a 3-engine landing burn. Most challenging landing to date. Successfully touched back down on Of Course I Still Love You. Meanwhile, we have a good orbit for second stage. We are at a good parking orbit for second stage. We will be in coast phase till about the T plus 27 minute mark. So we're going to leave you right now with that image of our animation of second stage orbiting around Earth. We're going to come up on our second burn for the second stage in about 19 minutes or so. And we'll be back shortly to bring you final coverage of second stage engine relight as well as separation of Bulgariasat. We did have a successful landing of the first stage on the drone ship. So secondary objective complete. We are still very focused on the primary objective. We're just over 26 minutes into today's mission, and we are coming up on our second burn of our second stage engine as we get ready to put Bulgariasat-1 into a geostationary transfer orbit. We're intermixing between showing you a live image of the aft end of our second stage, looking at our Merlin vacuum engine. And we're also showing you an animation of where stage 2 is over Earth. This burn will start in about 10 seconds. And we have ignition of the second stage engine. This is a 1-minute burn of our second stage engine. Everything looking nominal on the Merlin vacuum. We are throttling right now to adjust the acceleration of the satellite. Again, this burn is going to put Bulgariasat into a geostationary transfer orbit. A shutdown in about 10 seconds. We have shutdown. And it looks like a good orbit for our second burn of our second stage engine. Right now you are seeing the glowing red nozzle of the Merlin vacuum engine cooling down as it radiates out to space. If you're just tuning in, we have had so far a nominal mission. First stage placed second stage into its targeted position and then successfully landed back on our drone ship. That was the first time we've had a drone ship, a booster. That's the first time we had a booster land on both our east and west coast drone ship. Meanwhile, our second stage has performed 2 burns, placing the Bulgariasat into a super synchronous orbit, eventually deploying the Bulgariasat in about 6 minutes from now, and then which we will cover for you shortly. So right now, everything looks nominal from outer space. We are in a good orbit for our second stage right now, and we are going to be coming back in about 5 minutes as we cover payload separation of Bulgariasat from the forward end of our second stage. That is actually an image of Bulgariasat at the forward end of the second stage. So we'll be back shortly. Just over 34 minutes into today's mission. Right now, our second stage with Bulgariasat on top is in a super synchronous orbit. It had 2 nominal burns, picture perfect, and we are just awaiting payload separation. Payload separation should occur in about 10 seconds. So in a few moments, you will see Bulgariasat separating from the second stage. That is Bulgariasat in your screen right now, what you see. And we have payload separation. It's like a nominal payload separation. Right now, Bulgariasat will begin a number of health checks, deploy its solar arrays, and then begin its own orbital maneuvering to put itself into a final geostationary orbit over the Bulgarian orbital position. Sorry.